here from New Mexico, Alex Gildzen, right here.
When I met James Broughton 50 years ago, I don't think either of us would have ever imagined that today I would be reading his poems in Austin, Texas. But it's lovely to be here, and I know James is with us. I'd like to start with a piece I did in 1996. It was called My First Movie, and I just wrote to 50 people who I found fascinating and asked them, what was your first movie? And James wrote back that it was the Chaplin film, The Kid. I remember Jackie Coogan more vividly than Chaplin. He was not only closer to me in age, he personified the abandoned waif I felt myself to be following my father's death the year before. I hated the movie because it made my Aunt Marion cry all the way home. Even so, I wore my hat sideways for a month afterward. Coogan, I had that funny hat which you wore. And one of James's poems that I particularly like, this is from his book Ecstasies. And I was just noticing, I didn't even realize, I just reached in my library at home, but he had signed this one for me. For Alex, I swear by affection, exuberance, and deity, always with bliss to bless. I've forgotten it, but anyway, it was just lovely to see that again, and that 30 years ago, signed that. But anyway, this is Hermes Bird, His Secret. This is the secret that will not stay hidden. This secret that is no secret. Such power thrives against every denial. It shimmers, it leaps, it multiplies, it glows like the waxing moon. It floods with the tides of spring. Here is the wonder of the God in man. Here is the dangling flower of Eros. This is he who awaits his ecstasy. He is too irrepressible to be polite. He is too honest to be acceptable. Such folly survives all ridicule. His fiery milk scalds the taste of love. It overflows. It proliferates. It terrifies many who label it poison. Not every man is at home with him, but he is at home with every man. This is he who believes in bliss. Thank you.
Hey Alex, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So besides being his friend, how else did you know James? I mean, like, didn't you do something with his archives?
Funny you should ask. I met James at a poetry conference and then lost track of him. I mean, didn't lose track, but we didn't correspond and things like that. But I went to school at Kent State University, and there was a filmmaker there named Richard Myers who liked James very much, and he would bring him to campus for screenings and things, and we ended up actually appearing in one of Dick's films together. James was a ventriloquist and I was a dummy. But I got to sit on his lap. That was all right. And then later what happened was Kent State, I was the rare book librarian at Kent State University, and we were able to buy his papers. So over a period of many years, I cataloged, which took many years, his things. So one of the reasons in the film that I seem to know too much is because I discovered that material while I was cataloging his letters. And the wonderful thing about James from an archival point of view is he didn't throw anything away. So he had, the letters actually began with his parents' letters and some of his grandparents' letters, and then literally his own writings from childhood on. And then, of course, besides all the correspondence, were those journals that you so wonderfully took from in the film. So if any of you are terribly, terribly, terribly interested in, like writing a dissertation or something on James, go to Kent State, because it's all there. Thank you.
So one of the things that James was known for was, in addition to producing books and 23 films in addition to these books, is a whole series of witty short things like haikus. He has a book called 75 Lifelines, which has many short things in it, 75 of them actually, including the following. What distinguishes one human from another? The capacity to love and the ability to wonder.